I don't often play vampire counts, but when I do it in style, and I bring Blood Knights. I'm a Rubber Duck of War, leading the forces of the vampire counts under the guise of the Blind Bandit, up against J.W. Soul and his Empire forces, with a rather bad to the bones build actually. We've got a lot of Outriders, Volkmar the Grim. It's going to be some pretty heavy metal stuff, so let's pop this into slow motion before the battle gets underway, and let's have a look in our build. So, for the front line, we've gone for the very traditional vampire count style of play, which is a bucket ton of zombies. The rotten flesh is going to stumble, bumble, trip, whatever you want to do, drag themselves forward in a never-ending but slow and ponderous march towards the enemy front line, looking just to absorb enemy damage and just be a general pain in the butt. That's kind of what zombies are good for. In the secondary battle line, we do have some Graveguard in a nice central core, including the Regiment of Renown, and then Skeleton Warriors on the flanks, just to try to push around a little bit more and whip up and around the enemy formation, get a nice surround and grind out my opponent by slowly strangling their force. We have Feldbats up in the skies, 1, 2, 3, and that's because we have a nice little bit of an air core. I wanted to make sure I had enough troops to hound and harass, as well as protect my lord from any wild Karl Franz picks. We do love the Devils of Schwarsthafen up in the skies, looking beautiful as always. I mean, in a horrifying way. They're disgusting, but the models are absolutely beautiful. They come with some really nice AP and do quite a lot of damage on the charge to large foes as well as infantry alike. We do have the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord sitting awkwardly upon his mount. He's kind of panicking. He didn't do enough training to ride a dragon into battle, and he looks like he's waiting for a meal. But he will get a meal. No, don't worry about that. Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is very powerful in melee combat, coming in with the Heart Piercer and more importantly the Helm of Discord. Now the reason I like Helm of Discord, apart from the obvious reasons of it being a very powerful item, is up against the Empire. Volkmar the Grim is so popular nowadays, and I believe this lowers Volkmar the Grim's melee attack and melee defense down to like 1 and 0 or something crazy like that, so it makes him far easier to assassinate. We also have Raised Dead, Invocation Heck, as well as our Dragon's Breath of course. Now for our opponent, he did go for a bucket ton of Outriders, 1, 2, 3, 4 Outriders I believe. They're currently falling back away from the Feldbats, looking for the protection of their defensive box, and it is a bit of a box build. Once again, we have the Naked Lunatics guarding the front line formation, as well as some of the flanks, including the Tattersouls, which is an interesting choice there. We have Halberdiers in the back, as well as some great swords in the middle. It's kind of hard to see their build at the moment. Sigma Sun's in there as well, because all the cavalry, of course, is currently pushing through. Flee, you fools! Get away from this enemy front line. We do have a Jade Wizard as well, coming in with Dwellers Below, Regrowth, and Earthblood, and assisting him in leading the battle line shall be the most glorious of all, Volkmar the Grim. Look at that, with the standard just like being held aloft behind him in the name of Sigma, coming in with all his buffs as well as the healing and all that good stuff. My opponent thought he was being really sly and hiding the Demigryph Knights of Halberds in the trees. I can actually see them. I could see them the entire time. They were not actually hidden mode, so it's always best to check when you've hidden a unit that they have that little eye icon above them. Demigryph Knights though, looking very cool. Those Halberds will be quite a big pain to my Blood Knights as well as my Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. I don't think I went over my Blood Knights. I brought Blood Knights. They're awesome. Look at them. They're charging forward now on the right hand wing. Frenzy, anti-large, always a fun time. So starting to wrap around a lot of our troops. I'm actually well aware of the Demigryphs, and I kind of want the fight of my Blood Knights because I have the Blood Dragon here as well as the Devil. So I'm kind of taunting, see if we can drag out my opponent, who's currently unleashing a few shots on the Feldbats. We do drop an Overcast, Gaze in the Gash, trying to assassinate that Jade Wizard, and a big puff of smoke comes out there, and in the ruins of it, a big old blood smears on the ground, and only 2 dead. So not the best use of an Overcast spell, but hey, you can't get them all. Now the zombies are going to start pushing forward. It looks like my opponent is aiming at the Sternsman at the moment. Not a bad target whatsoever, just to start whittling them down. And the White King is doing his old magic trick and just eviscerating that enemy front line as the zombies are about to crash in. It is an unbreakable front line though. There's great swords in here as well, so it's going to be quite hard to actually bust open this little box where all the Outriders are currently sitting. Almost being used as handgunners now after that initial foray into enemy territory. We drive a little bit close here. I did a nice big fat breath attack down on the great swords, but we did pay for it dearly. Look at the damage just falling off us. Big old rotting dragon limbs falling to the ground. And our Blood Knights have actually gone up and all the way around so far. I'm going to start pushing on our Feldbats onto the Outriders just to distract them, just to kind of annoy them as much as possible. Volkmar the Grim's in our front line, and it's going to be a big pain. So I want to shut down the Outriders where possible to free up the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord to hunt down Volkmar, as was the intended plan. Invocation Heck goes off, as well as a zombie summon. The Devils are coming in, and the Blood Knights are actually able to go up and around past these halberds and start just butchering the Outriders very quickly. And we're going to continue this advance into the enemy front line. And on top of that, Jade Wizard as well. The White King and the Devils trying to assist in the front line. You can see the Greatswords not having a great time as the Sternsmen are able to endure the wrath and tyrannical rule of Volkmar the Grim. Blood Dragon Vampire Lord's about to swoop down, start doing some nice damage there as well. And Graveguard, mixed in with zombies, are just chewing their way through the front line. It is a Flustercluck in the back. My opponent's really trying to get these Demigryphs to push through onto my Blood Knights. But that summon unit of zombies is just pinning them in place and mucking them up completely. With Fellbots that's starting down, Skeleton Warriors swooping around, zombies going for the dreaded flank attack. We do have some more Skeleton Warriors that we're going to leave in deep reserve over in the distance. Definitely didn't forget about them. Also, definitely did not forget about my Necromancer. Try to ignore those guys for now. The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord does have Heart Piercer active. He's going to be bounding away. The Blood Knights are nearby to support. And Volkmar the Grim is looking quite beleaguered at the moment. And luckily, he's managed to force off the majority of those Outriders. The Halberdiers are being caught up a little bit, unfortunately, on Skeleton Warriors as well as zombies. Looks like an Overcast does go down, and it is a miscast with a Power Stone there. What did he do? Looks like he popped Regrowth on Volkmar the Grim, then a second miscast. He's kind of really loving himself today. He's like, unlimited power, just dropping spell after spell. That healing of Volkmar's disgusting. Look at that, an extra 2,600 HP. He's healing so rapidly right now. We try a Breath Attack on the Jade Wizard and completely whiff our line, so we're going to get some revenge on the Sigma Suns and just dart down here and assist the Graveguard in butchering these troops. Foebats are hunting down that Jade Wizard, looking to break it off the battlefield, and they have succeeded in doing just that. White King is carving his way through a load of Greatswords. Devil's Trostharten are back up in the air, and they're now going to swoop down. We do indeed, of course, have our rallying Skeleton Warriors, who are going to be driving back to the main fight, and the Devils swoop down onto Volkmar the Grim. I'm really going for that assassination attempt right now with the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, but because of the healing, Volkmar the Grim's actually at his healing cap a lot quicker than usual. He does have regeneration, but I understand my opponent kind of, oh my god, Volkmar's dying, let's heal him up as quickly as possible. And he's doing some good work, up to 49 kills so far. And oh my god, that jumped up so high, up to 73 kills as he butchers a load of our cheap chaff. And the Blood Dragon is going to have to pop an invocation and get up into the skies once more before swooping down with some deadly cycle charging, clattering into Volkmar, doing some good work. And we do summon some zombies on top of the Demigryphs as a Helm of Discord goes down. Let's check those stats on Volkmar. Yeah, 0 melee defense. That is really bad. Really, really bad. I mean, he has Grand Hammer of Sigma buffing his melee attack right now, but it would go down to 1. So it's 1 melee attack and 0 melee defense if you can debuff him with a Helm of Discord, and he is getting butchered and put in his place. Outriders have returned to the battlefield. You've got some on this left-hand side and some up in the top end of the battlefield. And they're coming back and laying on thick, doing some pretty decent damage. But overall, the battlefield looks to be going really well in our favour. We've actually remembered our Corpse Car, which is moving up now. Fellbats are chasing off... what is this? Is this a Jade Wizard? It is a Jade Wizard. We've got 2 Fellbats on that job, which has been mismicroed by me, but hey, we really want to get rid of them as quickly as possible. Outriders are about to be jumped as well by the Sternsmen. Have done such a good job just being a stalwart middle fighting force for us, where we're able to cycle charge off and kind of deal with the enemy. Demigryphs are driven away, still 7 models on them. It looks like we are going to be coming with an Invocation Heck once again, but Heart Piercer is active, and we are challenging the Mustile Twirling Villain to a duel, and he wants absolutely none of it. Our opponent is going to be backing out there. Look at that for an image with the Blood Dragon right there, and oh, that looks really cool. Look, he's like screaming in pain as the dragon does take a big old chunk of flesh from his neck. But it will be a Pyrrhic victory. I think it was over by that point. Volkmar is pretty good at carrying against infantry, not so good against characters. And we still had the White King left and the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord with cycle charging. Volkmar's at his healing cap, so I think it was unfortunately game over. Well played to JW Soul there for a really awesome game. I quite like the idea of the Outriders. I think Volkmar should have been way more aggressive from the off, although I understand being maybe a little bit scared of doing that because that Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is so good at assassinating him and was kind of floating nearby. But yeah, well played nonetheless. Cool stuff. Good to see the Greatswords in action, as well as the Demigryph Knights of Halberd doing pretty well for themselves. 1,381 damage value and 59 kills. Before we do get into all the damage dealt, damage values and kills and stuff of all these units and a bit more analysis, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Let me know down below as well in the comment section. You can quack at me, you can just cheer me on, you can laugh at my mistakes, you can, you know, critique the builds, or you can just chat and say how you enjoyed the battle and what you'd like to see more of in the future. Feel free to subscribe as well. It really helps out the channel hugely, like massively, as it helps YouTube, you know, push it out to more people, and we can slowly convert more and more people to the Great Duck cause. There's links down below to my Twitch channel, where I do additional streams once or twice a week, sometimes free, you never know. Links down below to my Discord as well, where you can submit replays to the channel. Just when you do, let me know if you're on the live patch or on the beta. I do accept replays from both. I'm bouncing between the two modes, so I can make sure to cover a load of different fun games. There's also links down there to Patreon and all that kind of standard YouTube-y stuff, if you'd like to support the channel. Let's go through this Empire build first with Volkmar the Grim. 124 kills, 12k damage dealt, 1,784 damage value. Really not bad whatsoever. He did a good job clearing out the chaff. Unfortunately for him, I think he needed to get pushed a little bit more aggressively forward. Otherwise, he took a while before he really got going there. But when he did, boy oh boy, is he a big pain in the butt. Jade Wizard healing Volkmar is not something I see very often due to the fact Volkmar has that regeneration, but it did keep him in the fight and keep him nice and topped up, so good play there with the Wizard. Halberd is 600 damage value and 108 kills, cleaving the way through skeletons and zombies alike. And for the rest of the troops, I mean, 650 damage value on the Sigma Suns isn't bad. Tattered Soul's got 200 kills, but all of them on zombies, only 370 damage value is really bad. And 12k damage dealt, and the Great Sword's only 473 damage value. So the infantry did suffer quite poorly, apart from that unit of halberds, and it did good, but not, amazing. Demigryph Knights did a good job, 59 kills, 1.3k damage value. Unfortunately, getting bogged down a lot by zombie summons and just cycle charge, they were eventually brought low. As for the Outriders, we had 879 damage value, 1,000 damage value, 360 and 320. So a bit of a mixed bag, but some nice pressure on my lord. For ourselves, the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord does have a 2,494 damage value, 44 kills, not too shabby whatsoever. The White King, 1,000 damage value on him. Only 65 on the Necromancer, killing a couple models and then being left in the corner because of his bad performance. And the zombies just did what zombies are meant to do, just bog down the enemy. No crazy damage value on our Skeleton Warriors either. Graveguard did shine though, 787 damage value. 110 kills and been relatively healthy in the later stages of the game. The Sternsman took so much pressure. Volkmar was using all his debuffs, all his buffs, as well as bringing the Soulfire on them. There was so much pressure on these guys, but despite that, they tanked it out and got 1,069 damage value. Blood Knight's got 1,582 kills, really solid unit. We're able to swoop all the way up and around the box build and come crashing in one of those weak spots to hunt down the Outriders, and they did that pretty well. Felbats, 89 damage value, 215 and 349. So, again, just good harass units. And then 1,412 damage value and 66 kills from the Devils, performing really, really well. I'm a massive fan of that unit. I have this fast, hard-hitting, relatively squishy, but still very hard-hitting unit. And, of course, if you're squishy, not so much of a problem with undead forces because you can indeed heal them up. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.